This is Aso Television News. I am Hulina Adojo. The headlines. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu slashes travel expenditure of government officials. Federal government set to probe degree racketeering in foreign and local private universities. And the Nigerian police parades 67 suspects in national crackdown. Now the news in details. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has directed a major reduction of travel delegations for all federal government official trips within and outside the country. The Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Ajurin Gilali, disclosed this on Tuesday during a media briefing at the State House in Abuja. According to the Special Advisor, the directive means a 60% reduction across board and affects all MDAs, including the Office of the President, Vice President, and the First Lady.
The official trips that will be undertaken within the country, that is, when Mr. President or the Vice President travels to any state within the country, the massive bills that accrued due to allowances and ESTA code for security detail coming from Abuja, going and traveling into those states, will be massively cut due to the directive of the President that the security outfits within states, whether it be police, DSS, or branches of the military, will frontline his protective detail when he travels to those states, a major cost-cutting initiative. That will affect the Office of the Vice President as well as the Office of the First Lady. Additionally, when any international travel is being approved, the following limits have been placed on all ministers of the Federation. 4 members of their staff, appointees and the like, will be allowed to travel with a minister on an official trip. For heads of agency, that will be limited to 2 members of staff allowed to travel on an official trip.
The presidential aide also outlined what applies on international trips.
International trips, the President has directed that no more than 20 individuals be allowed to travel with him. That number will be cut down to 5 in the case of the First Lady. 20 for the President, 5 for the First Lady. Additionally, the number in the entourage on official international trips for the Vice President will be cut to 5. The number that will be the number that will be placed as a limit on the wife of the Vice President is also.
President Tinubu also directed that the security personnel will be heavily reduced during visit to states in Nigeria, as the security architecture in the states he is visiting will take charge of his personal security. The federal government has announced plan to formalize 1 million businesses across Nigeria at a discounted rate. Vice President Kashim Shettima disclosed this on Tuesday when he launched the expanded National MSME Clinic in Makurdi, the Benue State capital, marking the first stop on a nationwide journey to empower small and medium-sized businesses. In a statement by Stanley Nwokocha, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communications, Office of the Vice President, said the MSME Clinic, the first of its kind under the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, aims to empower micro, small, and medium enterprises by breaking down barriers and providing crucial resources. According to the statement, Benue's pioneership of the MSME Clinic sets the stage for a nationwide rollout scheduled to traverse Ebonyi, Ogun, Delta, Kaduna, Borno, Katsina State, and the Federal Capital Territory in a meticulously planned itinerary for the first half of 2024. It added that this will culminate in the National MSME Awards, a fitting celebration of entrepreneurship spirit, coinciding with World MSME Day on June 27, 2024 in Abuja. Addressing a mammoth crowd of entrepreneurs and stakeholders at the IBB Square in Makurdi, Vice President Kashim Shettima emphasized the federal government's commitment to creating a thriving MSME ecosystem. He acknowledged the crucial role MSMEs play in job creation and economic development, even as he pledged government's unwavering support to empower them. He assured that President Tinubu is committed to resolving the bottlenecks affecting the MSME space in Nigeria and will persist until these issues are resolved. The VP noted that the 75 billion naira loan scheme from Bank of Industry and Access Bank discounted 50 billion fund offer is already in place as crucial financial support for entrepreneurs. The Minister of Works, Engineer Nweze David Umahi, has inaugurated 3 committees to fast-track the implementation of Highway Development and Management Initiative, HDMI. Speaking during the event, the minister harped on the need for the committee to work effectively and concertedly, bearing in mind the expectations of Nigerians in terms of transparency, standard, and efficiency in contract negotiations. He noted that contracts with some concessionaires had been consummated, but that the current economic dynamics and the new policy direction of the present administration will require a review of the scope of work and cost implication. He charged the concessionaires to abide by the criteria set and the timeline for the project. The 3 committees set up by the Minister for the actualization of the federal government's HDMI program are scoping and design, financial due diligence, and agreement review. The minister, however, expressed happiness for the progress made by 9 concessionaires in finalizing their designs and documentation to achieve a financial close by the first quarter of 2024 and charged them to diligently work with the ministry's committee for the final processes. Speaking earlier on behalf of the Permanent Secretary at the meeting, the Director of Highways and Bridges, Engineer Awosanya Onatuga, said that the directors and the concessionaires were ready to work concertedly to move HDMI project forward. The Federal Capital Territory Administration has disclosed plans to unveil unified standard transportation system in the nation's capital. Directorate of Road Traffic Services, DRTS, Dr. Abdulatif Bello, disclosed the plans during the stakeholders engagement meeting. Usman Kato Umar reports.
Dr. Bello, who stated that the need to standardize the transportation system in Abuja had become very necessary, considering that the city was fastly evolving and no aspect of it should be ignored, also revealed that the reorganization of licensed taxi operators in the city would soon commence. Dr. Bello equally revealed that the administration has perfected plans with consultants to bring in buses that use compressed natural gas (CNG) to solve the problems of mass transit in Abuja.
FCT cannot remain stagnant. We cannot continue to, remain where we are. We have to move. We have to run a transportation system, that is similar to what is obtained in other developed cities of the world. Anytime there is a challenge, people always refer to FCT as poorly organized in terms of transportation. But the Prime Minister has, read the Riot Act. Every day we have been having meetings, we have been interacting with some big consultants who are ready to bring in new fleets of vehicles. All these things are going on behind the scenes. So before it will come out as a surprise, I think I owe these critical stakeholders, every benefit to hint all of you of what is coming ahead.
Some stakeholders in attendance also shared some insights and recommendations.
Because I do believe that before the idea of CNG buses, we from the National Union and other associations who have been on ground. And I think the coming of CNG are meant to cushion the effect of the removal of subsidy and to ameliorate the suffering of the ordinary Nigerians. Because before the advent of CNG, some of these our buses have been providing these services for ordinary Nigerians. And if you are now coming with the idea of saying this, I think we, the existing stakeholders, should have been considered first before going to contact the so-called consultants.
We have licensed operators in FCT who are licensed to do this business. And my own organization, for instance, SECDA, I think in August last year, we started what we are about doing now earlier on. We launched a taxi recapitalization scheme in FCT here. DTRS was present, Road Safety, VIO, and all other bodies were present. We launched it. What is the aim of doing that? Is to remove rickety vehicles in FCT.
Usman Khatun Umar, Aso Television News.
The federal government has inaugurated an interministerial committee to examine the veracity of allegations of degree racketeering within foreign and local private universities in Nigeria. Inaugurating the committee in Abuja on Tuesday, the Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Mama, mandated the committee to review the role of any MDA or IT officials in facilitating the recognition and procurement of fake certificate in question.
We need to find out, if we can, and I hope we can, these institutions where they are. And from some of the information we've been getting system, it's not only the immediate neighbors, it's very far and wide to some countries in Central Africa and even outside Africa. These institutions are called degree mills. They are known all over the world as degree mills. So we need to find out so that we can protect Nigeria and Nigerians.
The committee had, however, been mandated to complete the investigation within 8 weeks from the date of inauguration. The minister, while reading the terms of reference, urged the committee to review existing policies and procedures related to accreditation and certification to identify weaknesses contributing to the issue.
We need to protect those of us who have worked very hard to acquire qualifications in Nigeria and abroad, and who come back and join the queue for jobs, and when they get the jobs to provide quality service. Because anybody who goes across, gets a degree, or even without moving, sits in the comfort of his living room, pays some money, collects a certificate. You know that this fellow is not bringing any knowledge or skills to the table. These are quacks. So we have a duty to protect this country from this category of criminals. That's what they are.
According to the terms, the minister said members should examine the extant rules, procedures, and processes for granting of provisional license to new universities by the National University Commission. The committee is chaired by the Chairman, Board of Trustees, Committee of Vice Chancellor of Nigerian Universities, Professor Jibrila Amin. Other members of the committee are Chris Miyaki, Acting Secretary, National University Commission, Ambassador Lazarus Ikbasaba from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and Mr. Abel Olaruwaju from the Office of the National Security Advisor. Others are Ome Nwokpoku from the Office of the National Security Advisor, Amina Luga from the Federal Ministry of Youth, and Mrs. Dong Iotiom from the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board. Chairman and the Chief Executive Officer of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, retired, says that the upgrade of the forensic laboratory of the agency by the United States Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs will enhance operational standard and optimal performance of NDLEA in its renewed fight against substance abuse and illicit drug trafficking in Nigeria. The NDLEA Director, Media and Advocacy, Mr. Femi Babafemi, in a statement, made this known at the commissioning of the agency's newly refurbished forensic laboratory in Lagos on Wednesday. He noted that the project was facilitated by the INL and implemented by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, UNODC. The NDLEA boss, who was represented at the event by the agency's Director of Media and Advocacy, Femi Babafemi, emphasized the importance of modern forensic laboratories to the successful fight against illicit drugs in the country. According to him, everyone who knows how pivotal a forensic laboratory is to drug investigations will share his sentiment. He further added that the forensic laboratory plays a critical role in the identification of drug exhibits, in the investigation of drug manufacturing and the dismantling of clandestine laboratories. Ultimately, it reinforces the criminal justice system. You're watching Aso Television News. Watch us live on DSTV channel 392, on Star Times TV channel 127, and on Free TV channel 547. You can also watch us on the UHF band on channel 38. Still to come, Nigerian police parades 67 suspects in national crackdown. Stay with us for more stories after this break.
Oh dear residents of the FCT, the dry season is here again, a time when the Harmattan haze is intense and combustibles burn faster. So be responsible and take precautions. Stop bush burning. Stop the sale of gas in areas not approved for such purpose. Make sure you put off all electric appliances when leaving home or the office. Remember, fire is an obedient servant and a bad master, and has caused colossal damage to lives and property in our dear territory. Support FCT Emergency Management Agency today to prevent fire disaster. For any emergencies in the FCT, call FEMA on the 112 toll-free number or 080-5722-4574. FEMA, reducing disaster risk for a safe and happy FCT.
Welcome back. Now the rest of the news. In a stern warning to citizens, the Nigerian police has cautioned against the popular social media slogan, "No grief for anybody," stating that the law will not hesitate to take its course in the event of any violation. The first public relations officer, ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, gave the caution amidst a crackdown by the Nigerian Police Force Intelligence Department tactical teams, who on Tuesday paraded 67 suspects arrested for a range of crimes. The offenses including kidnapping, gun running, one-chance robbery, armed robbery, and banditry across the country.
And let me say again, on this note, that the new slogan for 2023-24 for our young ones is "No degree for anybody." We have been informed from our intelligence that this slogan is coming from a revolutionary sector that may likely cause problem across the country. No degree for anybody is being seen as just a normal talk, but in security business, in security community, we have seen it as a very, very dangerous slogan that can trigger crisis. Don't forget, in as much as you are entitled to enjoy your fundamental human rights, no fundamental human right is obsolete. No degree for anybody will not work when security operatives want to apprehend you for committing an offense. Once you have committed an offense, security operatives will come, apprehend you, and cause you to face the wrath of the law. Don't say no degree for everybody. You need to work when you commit offense.
Among the paraded suspects are 3 individuals linked to the Christmas Eve attack on 15 villages in Plateau State, resulting in the tragic loss of over 150 lives and the destruction of 221 houses, leading to the displacement of more than 10,000 residents.
The IGP is making sure that we take charge of some of these operations. We are even planning to float some operations to tackle some of these insecurity we experience in some areas across the country. The IGP is working out as has flagged off a segment of Special Interventions Code in Plateau State, which is under the direct supervision of AIG, in charge of Zone 4 in Makodi, who has been temporarily relocated to Jos in Plateau State to oversee the special operations we have been to make sure we restore peace back to affected areas in Bokos, back in Ladi, Mango, and other areas of Plateau State. It's our collective resolution, our collective responsibility again in the police, and seeking support from other members of the public to make sure we have a better security networking in this country.
According to the force public relations officer, the police recovered a cache of weapons, including one AK-47 rifle, one AK-49 rifle, and 1,000 rounds of live ammunition and 5 magazines. The crackdown and subsequent arrest emphasized the Nigerian government's commitment to tackling rising criminal activities across the nation. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taurid Lagbaja, has charged troops of 82nd Division, Nigerian Army, and Joint Task Force Southeast Operation Udoka to remain loyal and committed to their constitutional responsibilities as enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to guarantee the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the nation, as well as peaceful coexistence of the nation's citizenry. Major General Onyema Nwachukwu, Director Army Public Relations, said the Corps gave the charge during its operational visit to Headquarters 82 Division, Nigerian Army on Tuesday, 9th January 2024. Addressing the troops, the Army Chief, who lauded the resilience and sacrifice of the troops, also cautioned the troops to not expose themselves to the negative influence of the social media, as it has oftentimes been used to spread false and nauseous information, emphasizing the importance of not letting themselves be manipulated into making misguided decisions or indulging in illegalities, contrary to extant regulations and core values of the Nigerian Army. He added that the Nigerian Army, as a disciplined and noble profession, has zero tolerance for illegalities and will remain an embodiment of discipline and would therefore not tolerate any form of indiscipline from troops as they operate in their respective host communities. The Corps has informed that the federal government has made commendable interventions in the areas of troops' welfare and provision of combat enablers. He informed that the government has settled the backlog of unpaid group life assurance that has accumulated since 2011. He also revealed that the Nigerian Army has equally commenced the payment of troop accident insurance, adding that it is imperative for troops to reciprocate these motivating welfare interventions by remaining loyal, disciplined, and upscaling their operational effectiveness in the fight against security challenges in the country. National Insurance Commission has unveiled plans to developing a 7-point agenda aimed at strengthening its transformation agenda in the insurance sector, consolidating the gains and investments in technology in order to remain competitive. This is according to the report issued by the Global Data on Tuesday, noting that the Nigerian insurance market is expected to achieve a compound annual growth rate of more than 10% between 2023 and 2027. Speaking, the Commissioner for Insurance, Mr. Sunday Summers, said over the decade, the insurance industry will seek to continue its transformation journey along the following 7 strategic thrusts with the objective of achieving the corresponding goals. These include transforming the regulatory environment to sustain the industry growth transition to risk-based capital model, promoting insurance awareness and adoption, broadening insurance product offerings and improving effectiveness of distribution channels, and enhancing digitalization of the insurance industry. Others are deepening the industry's talent pool and capabilities, supporting Nigeria's economic transformation and sustainability agenda, and implementation of Project E-Regulation through operationalized business process management solution and NICOM portal. The NICOM boss affirmed that under his leadership, the Commission has remained resilient and focused on implementing initiative that will foster development of the Nigerian insurance industry to aligning its fortunes with that of the nation as the African largest economy. He acknowledged that in pursuance of the drive by President Bola Tinubu towards a thriving economy, the need to strengthen the sector to play its role in realizing this laudable national objective has become imperative. Mr. Thomas further noted that the NICOM is very mindful of the collective responsibility to ensuring the insurance institutions prosper, adding that it is in that prosperity that lies the attainment of its regulatory objective of safeguarding insurance business. Correspondent Ile Emeje reports that from the ongoing efforts and expectations of higher adaptation of technological reinvention in 2024 by the NICOM, it is expected that the insurers would attempt to be tech-enabled, mastering data and its many resources for quick access and serve customers when they need, learn about and purchase insurance. On stock, equity sector of the Nigerian Stock Exchange made a milestone achievement at the last trading session, recording the highest single-day gain of 1.5 trillion naira. Market watchers attributed the development to price appreciation in medium shares to cross a new psychological level of both the all-share index and market capitalization. For details and more on the exchange rate, business correspondent Ile Emeje is standing by.
In what can be described as a free fall both on the Nigerian capital market and the exchange rate, the nation's domestic bourse traded in a turnover of 1.41 billion stocks at the last session, worth 24.68 billion naira in 14,112 deals. In volume terms, the banking subsector was the most active, trading in 804 million stocks, followed by the premium units and the conglomerates, contributing in 287 million stocks and 114 million stocks in that order. During the session, the major indicators, the all-share index and market capitalization of listed equities, improved critically by 3.57% to cross the new psychological level of 83,240 units and 45.52 trillion naira. And on the exchange rate, for the fourth time in a row, the naira crossed the 1,000 naira threshold against the dollar, selling for 1,099 naira to the dollar, 1,085 naira to the pound sterling, and 935 naira to the euro. Ile Emeje, Aso Television News.
And on sports, the Nigerian Television Authority has announced that it has secured the exclusive right to broadcast all 52 matches of the 2023 African Cup of Nations. This is coming after MultiChoice, owners of cable platform DSTV, announced that it will not broadcast the tournament on SuperSport. In a groundbreaking move, the NTA and Afro Sports have inked a game-changing memorandum of understanding to broadcast 52 thrilling matches of the African Cup of Nations in Côte d'Ivoire, NTA posted on its X page. Last Wednesday, MultiChoice confirmed that it failed to secure the right to broadcast the 2023 AFCON. The 2023 AFCON will begin with a Group A match between host nation Ivory Coast and Guinea-Bissau at the Alassane Ouattara Stadium at Abidjan on January 13, 2024. Nigeria's Super Eagles are also in Group A alongside Ivory Coast, Equatorial Guinea, and Guinea-Bissau. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Super Eagles have departed for Abidjan for the opening game against Equatorial Guinea at the Alassane Ouattara Stadium, expected to hold on Sunday, January 14th at 2 p.m. And that's the bulletin. Before we go, let's take a look at one of our major stories. The Nigerian police has cautioned against the popular social media slogan, "No grief for anybody," stating that the law will not hesitate to take its course in the event of any violations. That's the news. I am Holina Adojo. Thanks for watching.